Today, Brian Martindale, the Executive Director of Kidneys for Kids, will shine the light on kidney disease. It was September of 2012, just days before opening the Karma Apparel clothing store, that Brian found himself craving gum. Just wait until you hear his call to action. Just wait until you hear his commitment. I am Reverend Dr. Davita Morton, double lung transplant recipient family member with Educating Minorities About Transplants Incorporated.
Good day again, everyone. Brian Martindale from Kidneys for Kids, and again, I'm here today with Shirley Brill, and we're talking about organ donation as well as living organ donation. I was able to donate a kidney almost 12 years ago to a young lady after I saw her story in our newspaper in Michigan, and watch her receive my living kidney and grow from a 10-year-old girl into a 22-year-old healthy woman who's now on our board of directors. And Shirley and I want to just touch a little bit about living kidney donation to children and in the minority community, talking about any things that might be myths or dispelling or putting people away from possibly testing to save a child's life. What do you experience as far as any kind of myths, any kind of misgivings in the minority community as far as becoming a living organ donor, whether it would be to a child or an adult?
I think the same myths and misconceptions that we have just for organ donation in general are some of the same things we hear. Of course, it takes a special person to become a living donor, because a lot of times, it's okay to say that I'm going to leave the gift of life,
right?
But to actually donate the gift of life while living. So, all of you deserve a special place in heaven for giving that gift. We have living donors in our group, Educating Minorities About Transplants, and they receive sort of like a special honor, like I said, because it really takes a sacrifice. A lot of people have a fear that they can't live on with healthy lives. It's going to affect them. They can't do all the things that they are accustomed to doing.
Absolutely.
And it's just contrary to the fact that it's just the opposite of that.
Right.
Once you go through your healing and recovery, take a look at you. Look at all the things you do, and you go back to your normal life.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, everybody won't have that perfect experience, but I have not heard of any living donor who has run into a complication since they've given that gift.
Yeah, neither have I.
Some of the misconceptions that I've heard of is perhaps other than I won't be able to continue my life as I'm used to it, is that I would tie it into religious beliefs, the same as, leaving the gift of life. And some people feel that I shouldn't do that, because I've even heard people say I wouldn't give a kidney usually, because we know there are two organs that you can donate, the kidney and the liver, because the liver regenerates.
Absolutely.
But I've heard people say that they wouldn't even donate a kidney to a close family member because they think that it's just not right. They don't want to take the chance. And I feel, Brian, it's really because of a lack of education.
Absolutely true.
It's something that we don't talk about, and that's why I think our organizations are so important. Unless we can get out there and have open conversations,
yes,
and people can look at the whole picture. With regular organ donation, I think people look more at death,
right,
than life. We know at some point we are all going to pass on.
Yes, we are.
But the thing is, will you have that compassion to help your fellow man when it's your time to go? Even as a organ transplant recipient, my double lung gift, I'm still an organ donor.
Right.
When it's my time to go, take whatever you need.
Right.
If it's going to help somebody else, other than my lungs, you can have it.
Yep.
Because that's one way to pay it forward.
Absolutely, and I think that's how we feel at Kidneys for Kids. A living organ donation, first of all, to a child, and this is a myth in all communities that they see a child that's a baby basically, and they think, well, how can my full-size kidney, me being 6'2" and 250 pounds, help this little baby or this child, and they don't realize the fact that the child's size and correct weight, which is usually around 2 years old, they can receive a full-size adult kidney, and their body basically grows into it. So dispelling that myth that if you see a child, whether it's somebody close to you or a child, like when I saw the newspaper story of my recipient, I didn't know her. I was just motivated by the fact that I was a direct match and that I could help save her life. And once I did, I was hooked and got to see this little girl grow into a woman, like I said. And now our mission, just like yours, is to dispel some of these myths, give people encouragement. I'm 62, like Shirley said. I donated almost 12 years ago. I'm running around the country now on a 23-city, 10,000-mile trip, driving city to city alone every day, hundreds of miles. And I feel like I'm a 30-year-old. I'm very blessed. And I let people know you can live this kind of healthy, rewarding life, knowing that you saved a life. And possibly, especially if you get to know your recipient like I did, I get a gift every time I see her. I feel more sometimes than I think I gave her. Just every time she comes home from college and seeing a girl that's perfectly healthy, where when we met, she was so frail and pale white, and she looked, after our transplants, 48 hours later, she looked like a different girl the first time they wheeled me over to see her. So we just want people that are watching this to know that during life, you can give life, whether it's a kidney or a liver, and as Shirley said, your liver will regenerate like a miracle, and you'll still have a full-size liver, and you'll have saved a person's life. Your kidney, if you're healthy, your second kidney is essentially a spare. The first kidney, like mine, having the one, it took over the function of both kidneys, and I run like I'm on all cylinders, so all the time. So we just want to share that with you, and please, most of all, go to Shirley's organization, emat.org.
Amen.
And kidneysforkids.org, and you can learn more about donating life, whether it's after life or during life. Shirley, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate this, and we look forward to working with your organization.
Brian, thank you so much for being here with educating minorities about transplants. We certainly wish you safety on your drive from city to city with such an important task, helping those children receive those kidneys. And I think you said your mission is to get 100 adults to be donors for children. That's
Yes.
absolutely awesome. How many do you have now so far?
We have 11 kidney donors matched to 11 children over the last 18 months. And we got to get past that little hump there. We're kind of at a hump now, and we're really pushing this year with these final TV interviews for this year's Driving for Life mission to boost that number. This is going to be an ongoing yearly mission. You're going to see me back here with Shirley next year. We're going to hold an event together to promote living and organ donation in general. And we're going to continue this mission year after year, and we do it during the off summer months too. We arrange TV interviews by Zoom to get families on TV, to get that child's story told and to touch somebody's heart. And that's the basis of it, touching somebody's heart and bringing them forward and letting them know that they can give life, and letting a recipient know, like in my story, Jessica and I had never met, and after reading her story, we found out we only lived 4 blocks apart.
Wow.
So I tell people, your living donor or your donor in general, could life-saving donor, could literally be around the corner, that close. So it's just a matter of getting the word, spreading knowledge like we are today, and dispelling myths, and giving you avenues to contact us, and hopefully we can help you in the future, or somebody that's close to you that needs an organ transplant. So thank you again, Shirley.
Brian, let me ask you this question before we wrap it up.
Sure.
If someone listening was interested in becoming a living donor, What are some of the things that they would have to do in order to match, like you said, and who would they contact?
Great question. Well, first of all, you will go through an initial contact. We can send you through Kidneys for Communities, another one of our partners, a swab test kit. It's that simple nowadays to find your initial cross match. The same principle is used in bone marrow, now is used in kidney donation. So we can get the swab kit into your hands without any obligation. You can do that test, send it back, and we can tell you initially if you're a cross match for somebody. From there, you'll proceed to 2 days usually of testing. You're tested for everything, MRI, CT scans, every part of your body is gone through. So when you decide to become a living donor, you know that you're in optimum health. You have no health risks standing in front of you, and you can give and return to a healthy life like I did. And to do that, all you do is go to kidneysforkids.org. We have a link on there to our partner Kidneys for Communities, and you can use that link to register to become a living organ donor and living kidney donor, or you can use the link if you're a recipient in need of a kidney transplant. There are forms for both. Just go to kidneysforkids.org and use our links there.
All right, let me ask this question. What about paired donation? Does that also work for Kidneys for Kids?
Absolutely. Great question again. Paired donation now is if you come in contact with somebody and you decide that you want to help them through living donation, but you don't match them in blood type, you can participate in a paired donation program. And what that means is you will donate your living kidney to somebody maybe you'll never meet. And in that case, when that person receives that kidney that perfectly matches them, you'll be given a voucher. And that voucher you designate to the person that you want to help, that you don't match. That puts them to the top of the list for the next living donor that perfectly matches them. So they get the best match, you've given the best match to somebody else, and in that case, you've helped more than one person. And in the many paired donations, what's called a chain donation gets set off, to where there has to be more than one donor and recipient to get the matches for everybody. We've had chain matches, I've heard of 10 to 12 people in a line, starting with the first person, that end up getting organs instead of one person. So paired donation is just a wonderful way to go. And there are most every transplant center, as well as the National Kidney Fund, National Kidney Registry, Kidneys for Kids, Kidneys for Communities, all participate in paired donation.
Well, we are just so fortunate that you stopped in our city of Jacksonville. We wish you well as you journey on. And once again, thank you. Remember, there's Kidneys for Kids.
Thank you. And remember, Shirley's organization, educating minorities about transplant. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.